My name is Bruce Johnson, and I have been in Penticton for a long time. I was born and raised here, just not too far from here on Windsor Street. And then my mom and dad, when I was about 3 or 4, moved up to West Bench. And so that's where I spent my childhood, and it was a great place to grow up. So as the years went by, I of course went to West Bench and then Princess Margaret. It was a junior high then, and then graduated from Penn High. And when I came back to Penticton to teach and ultimately become a principal and then a school board trustee, I've always liked to give back to my community by coaching and volunteering and doing different things. And so for the last 4 years, I've been on the school board, and I've really enjoyed that role, and I think it's something I know quite a bit about after 34 years in the business, 17 as a teacher and then 17 as a principal. So that's where most of my leadership is focused these days. As a young kid, I played all the sports and so forth. And then when I was 14, like, we had an idyllic life up on West Bench. We had mom and dad and me and my younger sister, and everything was good. And, you know, we had enough money and we could go on trips and all that kind of stuff. And then when I was 14, my dad, who was only 44 and the biggest, strongest, healthiest guy in the world, had a massive heart attack and died. So as a 14-year-old, just going into Penn High, I was angry and I was mean and I was nasty and I was just basically mad at the world because my dad died, right? And he was, along with mom and sister, were pretty much my whole life. So I was pretty ornery. So finally my mom and my sister said, why don't you go out for football, Bruce, and use some of that aggression to, you know, at least get me out of their hair for a little bit. So that's what I did. So I did quite well, and I got a football scholarship down to the States. And I didn't realize that while you're going to college, you have to do more than play football. You have to go to school. And so they got me into a teacher program, and I really enjoyed it, enjoyed the courses, loved social studies and science and psychology. So when I graduated 4 years later, voila, I was a teacher. I really embraced the opportunity to put my name forward, and my sort of personal motto ever since I got over that angry teenager phase was to be a giver, to help people, to give, and try not to be selfish. And our son Blaine, who unfortunately we lost to cancer when he was just 12, he was diagnosed when he was 7. We had him for 5 sort of bonus years, and he taught me and my wife and our younger son and daughter so much that it's not all about you, it's about helping other people and what can you give. And even when he was sick, he was always thinking, you know, what can I do to help other people and stuff like that. And unfortunately it didn't end out well for him, but in his few years on the earth, it sort of taught me that, you know, you gotta take care of yourself. You have to make good decisions and make sure that you set your life up for a good path. But you got to help other people too. And so even when I was a teacher, and then especially as a principal, and I think maybe because I've had some challenges when I was young and I wasn't a straight A student and I wasn't a perfect angel, I think in a way it made me a better teacher and a better principal because I could appreciate what some of my students were going through, and that they weren't just bad, they were just either angry or not motivated or whatever. So when I then got to run in an election, I hoped, and it turned out really well 2 times, was that people would appreciate all that I'd done for either them or their kids or whatever. And so I was cautiously optimistic during the elections. Yeah, I think my strengths is I've really learned to listen to people. I used to be, especially when I was first a principal, I had all the answers, and we'd have a conversation and I'd just do all the talking and I'd make all the decisions and I'd do it my way. And sometimes it worked, but then people sort of felt, well, geez, he kind of stole my idea or he didn't really engage me. So I really try to listen to people, and I try to see both sides of any problem. And then I like to speak out and make a decision sort of based on, what I think, on what I'm hearing and what I really believe. My weaknesses, oh, there's lots, but I guess mostly I'm very impatient. I think I've got a little attention deficit disorder. I've got to keep moving, and I just can't. When you have a long, tedious process that goes on and on, I get fidgety and my mind wanders and stuff. So I guess impatience would be definitely a weakness on mine, and I don't think I'm working on it. So I think the things that I'm most proud of are my family first, and then my career, and just generally being a person that has a positive attitude towards life and tries to share that attitude with other people around me. As a leader, when you have a difficult decision and there's really no right answer, and those are uncomfortable situations because most of the time you can kind of see your way through and come up with a plan or an idea that's going to pretty much work for everybody, a lot of compromise. But sometimes there's just no way around it, and you have to have an uncomfortable decision, and not everybody's going to be happy. I think I get inspired by people that are kind, by people that work hard and love what they're doing, and by people that say every day is a good day and I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time for negativity. I don't have time for cruelness or bigotry or hatred. So I think my inspiration comes from surrounding myself with people that are positive and moving forward and leading a productive life. My dream job, well, I guess I think I had it. I think I had it. As I mentioned, I didn't start out to be a teacher, but I really embraced it and I really enjoyed it. And I loved teaching social studies and science, and I loved working with kids and coaching. And I always made sure we didn't have leadership classes back in the day, but I was the staff sponsor for Students' Council. So that was sort of like leadership, because through that we would have the Students' Council, we'd organize projects for the school and organize benefits and charitable things and dances for the kids and try to increase school spirit. So I really loved my 17 years teaching, and then I really enjoyed being a principal at about 5 different schools, and that seemed like a natural progression to me. And now, even though it's much less onerous, I do enjoy being on the school board because I feel I'm still contributing and helping out, and through that then I go to see the different school activities and the plays and the games and all those kind of things. So I guess I had my dream job, and I'm still lucky enough to have it. Well, I'll tell you, I guess the advice is just to be nice to people, to be kind, and to be a giver. And rather than it's nice when things come your way, and it's nice when you, first of all, take care of yourself, make good decisions, and as I said earlier, be healthy and make good life decisions that are going to set you up, get a good education, make sure you have a good career, and you take care of your money. But that aside, then be nice to people, like that whole kindness thing, and pay it forward. And it takes just such a little bit of effort to give somebody a smile or a compliment or say nice to see you. And if you live your life that way and you're really kind to people, and even if they're mean to you, eventually sometimes you can even maybe get a smile out of them sometimes.